So guys, we're going to jump into this article here. This brings up some very, very valid points. And if you're a Gryffindor and you're watching this, I do apologize. I did not write this. I'm purely reporting on it from a fan perspective. So do bear that in mind. But anyway, so 5 things that still make no sense about Gryffindor. And we're talking about this from the perspective of the movies, not the books, guys. Just so we're clear there going forward. Okay, so what makes no sense about Gryffindor? Let's start off here at number 5. So the Sorting Hat's on-screen favoritism. Okay, so across the films, the Sorting Hat's decisions feel suspiciously convenient for the story's direction. Just a little bit. It barely hesitates placing Harry in Gryffindor, even though he displays Slytherin traits that the hat itself points out. Yeah, this is something that fans have debated about on countless forums and message boards over the years. You know, if he displays Slytherin-type traits, why was he placed into Gryffindor? Obviously, he has to be placed there because he's the heroic character. He's the central kind of thesis on which the story bases around. So we have to put him in Gryffindor. Gryffindor's associated with heroics and courage and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's a plot point where he has to be put into Gryffindor, even though technically he's more of a Slytherin, some people would say. The movie glosses over the internal conflict within seconds, making the decision seem less about Harry's psychology and more about his ensuring the hero lands the right house for the spotlight. Similar oddities occur with characters like Hermione, whose intellect screams Ravenclaw. Yeah, I mean, House Ravenclaw is about learning, intellect, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, wisdom, and all to do with like studying, academia, you know, becoming smarter, more intelligent, all that kind of stuff. And you would think that, you know, Hermione, you know, the brightest witch of them all, so to speak, you'd think she would be placed in Ravenclaw, but she's not. And again, it's kind of a little bit of a plot point that when you really think about it, it's kind of like, well, why was she placed in Gryffindor? Yet the films barely justify her placement beyond her friendship with Harry and Ron. Hopefully this is something in the series where they dive a little bit more into the decisions that the Sorting Hat is making, and it gives us a little bit of nuance and kind of the decision-making process that the Sorting Hat gives. And maybe we get that in the series, maybe we don't. We'll have to wait and see. So number 4, the perpetual Gryffindor-Slytherin feud. Okay, on screen, the rivalry between Gryffindor and Slytherin never matures, even as the stakes grow darker. From Quidditch matches to dueling club scenes, it stays cartoonishly black and white. Gryffindor equals good, Slytherin equals bad. Yeah, it's that kind of binary, isn't it? You know, one's good, one's bad. That's all there is to it. You don't need to know anymore. That's all there is. We root for Gryffindor, we don't like Slytherin, and end of story. No one needs to ask any questions. There's no nuanced exploration of how this animosity poisons the school culture. Even in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the films miss an opportunity for unity. Slytherin students are dismissed or locked away, while Gryffindors get the hero edit. The constant depiction of Gryffindor as pure-hearted and Slytherin as irredeemable leaves no moral complexity for viewers to process. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what is the feud about? Why is Gryffindor always pointed in a good light? Why do we never see Slytherin, you know, as being the good guys? There must be some situations, you know, throughout the school year where, you know, Gryffindor's in the wrong and Slytherins are the good guys. Whatever the situation may be. Maybe a fight breaks out between 2 students where the Gryffindor's in the wrong and Slytherin's in the right for a change. I mean, and we never get to see Slytherin kind of painted in that kind of, that light of kind of being the morally superior kind of student or group of students. Okay, so with that down, let's move on to point number 3 here, the cinematic hero worship. So filmmakers love Gryffindor so much that every Hogwarts-wide success circles back to them. From the House Cup victories to Dumbledore's glowing praise, the camera ensures Gryffindor looks golden, literally. In the Sorcerer's Stone, the last-minute House Cup points scene plays out like a triumphal coronation, complete with swelling music and glowing banners in a cinematic manipulation passing off as favoritism as a fair victory. The sequels never balance it out either, so characters from other houses rarely get full arcs or depths unless they orbit Gryffindor protagonists. Luna, Cedric, and Cho exist mostly to reflect the Gryffindor narrative. Even when rival houses contribute to saving Hogwarts, the camera always finds Harry and his red and gold teammates at the centre. Yeah, obviously that was a way of keeping Harry at the center of the story. I mean, again, other houses are doing great things for Hogwarts. They, are, just as brave and just as courageous and, again, help to save the day when it comes to the end of the movies. Yeah, like it says here, the camera always finds Harry Potter always finds the Gryffindors, and whatever goodness goes on at Hogwarts in the films, it always centers back to Gryffindor. There's never that moment where we get a whole load of praise for some Hufflepuffs or a whole load of praise for some Ravenclaws. You know, they are obviously featured in the movie, but the goodness and the kind of the favoritism always circles back to the Gryffindors. And, you know, it's just a movie making choice, I guess. So, number 2, the double standard in discipline. So, on screen, Gryffindors break more rules than anyone else, but the narrative barely punishes them. Harry and friends sneak around, attack professors, even Snape, and endanger the school, and they're rewarded with points or praise. Contrast with how Slytherins get detention for existing too smugly, and becomes absurd. The hypocrisy makes Hogwarts look inconsistent rather than just eccentric. The audience is told the school values fairness, but the headmaster constantly excuses Gryffindor's chaos as noble intent. It's one of the biggest on-screen contradictions in the story. Hogwarts rewards outcomes it likes, even if the process completely violates its own standards. Bravery becomes an excuse for bad behavior. Yeah, I mean, again, another fantastic point. I cannot argue against it. You know, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they break all the rules, and they do all the wrong things. And, yeah, the one time a Slytherin breaks the rules, I mean, it's like detention, you know, in the basement, you know, whatever punishment we're going to give you, you know, and with Gryffindors, it's like, oh, you get 10 house points, it's all good, you know, you broke all the rules, but it doesn't matter because you forward the plot and the narrative, so it's all good. And obviously there's a bias between Dumbledore and Harry as well, you can clearly see that. But yeah, just another point that's a bit inconsistent. The other houses can kind of break the rules and get punished, whereas Gryffindor kind of, you know, gets the favoritism, so to speak. Okay, number 1, the shallow definition of bravery. So, Gryffindor claims to champion courage, but the films portray only the loudest, flashiest versions of it. Dueling Death Eaters? Brave. Sneaking into danger? Brave. But showing restraint and compassion, the camera barely cares. The selective lens drains Gryffindor's founding value of depth. If bravery means court danger and survive, the entire house ethos becomes one-dimensional. By the final film, Neville's victory moment somewhat redeems the message. He's brave in the purest, most selfless way, yet it arrives after 7 movies that equate bravery with recklessness. Yeah, I mean, there is a difference between bravery and recklessness. I would say that recklessness is when you choose to do something that you shouldn't be doing. That's reckless. Like, if I choose to go out and, I don't know, say I'm very, very tired and I choose to go out and drive my motorcycle, that's reckless. That's being reckless. I'm making the decision to go and drive my bike while I'm tired. That's reckless. But where it comes in, bravery is when a situation is thrust upon you and you have to act out of, you know, pure will. Like, you have no choice. You have to act in a situation that you have no control over. Whereas being reckless, you have control over the situation, yet you continue to act. You choose to act silly regardless. So, you know, choosing to do something and to do it badly and to do it not safely, that's reckless. But when a situation is thrust upon you and you have no control over it, that's acting brave, when you choose to do something about the situation you have no control over. That's kind of how I, you know, kind of make those two things different there. Just to kind of give my thoughts on that. But there we go, guys. So number 1, the shallow definition of bravery. Number 2, the double standard in discipline. Number 3, the cinematic hero worship. Number 4, the perpetual Gryffindor-Slytherin feud. And number 5, the sorting hat on-screen favoritism. So I wasn't meaning to be picking on Gryffindors this evening, so I do apologize. I love each house as much as the other. Obviously, I favorite Ravenclaw a little bit more because I'm in Ravenclaw myself. But still, I'm not picking on Gryffindors by any sense. I just came across this article and found it makes interesting kind of conversation about the favoritism and the movies and how they portray Gryffindor in a kind of essential kind of prime light, whereas every other kind of class is treated a little bit differently, and it makes for an interesting conversation that's been going on for a while. So I would love to know what you think about this, guys. Do you agree with these points? Do you disagree with these points? Do you have a different point of view? Whatever your thoughts are, jump into the live chat or the comment section and let me know what you think about these 5 points and about how Gryffindor basically makes no sense in the movies. Would love to hear your feedback as always.